So tell us your name and about your project.
I'm Edwin Hubble, an American astronomer, and my project played a huge role in finding Hubble's law, which shows that the universe is ever expanding away from the Earth.
Okay. What were you and your colleagues trying to do, or what were you trying to find?
During this time, scientists were still wondering if the Milky Way was made up of the whole universe or if other galaxies added onto a much larger space. Due to the lack of telescope knowledge, this was unable to be found. And when I was first looking through the telescope, I told a reporter that I was hoping to find something I hadn't expected to find, which I did.
Okay, you said you were looking through a telescope, so where exactly was your project at?
Well, while I was working at California's Mount Wilson Observatory, the most technologically advanced telescope in the world was accessible, the 100-inch Hooker telescope on Mount Wilson, then the largest telescope in the world. In Los Angeles, on a mountain perch, I saw Cepheids, which are variable stars that regularly change in the luminosity in the Andromeda Nebula.
Alright. So, background information. What other significant events were happening around the world roughly at this time?
Several events were happening at the world at this time. The first commercial radio broadcast aired, Harlem Renaissance began, the Prohibition began in the United States, women were granted the right to vote in the United States, and also towards the end of my research, the Great Depression began in 1929, and I also enlisted in the infantry and served in France post-World War I before my research began.
Okay. Who else was actually involved in the project other than yourself?
Well, a lot of evidence helped support my project. First, with Henrietta Swan Leavitt. She discovered that the longer the period of a Cepheid, the more intrinsically luminous it is. This helped me observe Cepheids and measure the brightness varying between their periods. After this was done, I could calculate the distance to the stars and the distance from the Andromeda Nebula. Second, my evidence was supported by Vesto Slipher, which interpreted that the nebula was moving away relative to us. I was also aided by Milton Humanson using the Hooker telescope. I took long exposures of the spectra of faint galaxies, measuring the shift of specific spectral lines. It was calculating specific values of the galaxy's velocities.
Okay, give me just 1 second. Okay, here we go. What was your specific role in the project?
The Andromeda Nebula was instead a galaxy made of its own of a billion stars. I helped find this, and this proved that the Milky Way is just one of many galaxies, settling the controversy around us being in our own galaxy in space. I also learned that most galaxies were similar in size, and the ones that appeared smaller were just further away. So all in all, I helped be the visionary with the telescope. I found these things through the telescope. I also helped map an equation to see how far away the galaxies were from us and from each other.
Alright. What impact did your project and your findings with your colleagues have on the physics community?
I had a huge impact on the physics community. I discovered that the universe is even bigger than what we can ever imagine, changing the way we view our expanding universe in a way to measure the distance and speeds of galaxies. I also found that the spectra of light emitted by celestial bodies was able to find out if the galaxy was moving toward or away from Earth. Galaxies moving toward Earth were on the blue end of the spectrum, and the ones moving away were on the red end of the spectrum. And I was able to find the distance between us and the galaxies. This proved not only that the further away a galaxy was, the faster it moved away, but also the expansion of the universe. I was also able to lay a foundation of the Big Bang Theory by using the theory that we're able to begin a cosmic expansion from the same space during the same time. It must have occurred billions of years ago.
Okay. So sort of off the chart here, but are there any interesting facts or any interesting information surrounding you personally?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, a law was named after me, Hubble's law, which proves the expanding universe theorem. And also, a telescope was named after me, Hubble's telescope, which is very well known. And it also was one of the greatest intellectual revolutions of the 20th century. And that is all.
Thank you for your time.